So behind us on Burnham are this whole row of Frank Lloyd Wright properties. And so we've got a little tour that we're going to take you on. Enjoy. So this is the renovated Frank Lloyd Wright. Has 33 windows.
The idea was
Custom furniture.
You know, because it's just changed through the lines on the fireplace.
Two of them were built in.
Light
It's
fixtures.
stickly stuff. It's kind of copies it a little bit.
Ooh. What you got? What you got? Ooh.
Stickly stuff.
Stickly stuff.
Yes.
I forgot.
Yeah, cool. And then we got our little kitchen right in the center. All the windows. This is the stucco that guy from Poland did. So it's actually limestone that they throw on the stucco. It's interesting. So all the custom built-ins. Pretty classic for Frank Lloyd Wright. So this is the built-in, similar to the other one that they're going to be working on, and then window at the top here. Cool. Plans. It's very cool. My grandparents still have those.
Oh, it's not rigid enough. Yeah. That one will stay in a wall sconce. We have it in that fixture there, and some other fixtures will have that long filament with a double loop. That was about 3 or 4 years later. Edison created or figured out that it's up with a couple things. So Frank Lloyd Wright had sort of 3 things that he was trying to accomplish whenever he built a home. One of them was he wanted to connect you to nature. I can guarantee you, if it's raining outside, you know it's raining, right? We know that now. If it's snowing, you know it's snowing. But this was also sort of a quiet place. In 1916, this was literally the edge of Milwaukee. You could stand on the porch and look that way and see farm fields. You could go 2 blocks in that direction and get to the end of the streetcar line that would take you into the city to go to work. But it was also the end of the interurban line that would sort of the city-to-city train that would bring in all of the produce, eggs, milk from the farms, meat, chickens, etc. So this was the edge of town, but it was conveniently located from a transportation perspective. The area that was around here that was farmed was a celery bog, and this was a very prosperous place to grow celery for some strange, goofy reason. The street was lower, almost 2.5 feet lower, and it was narrower, and somebody figured it out that on 27th Street or Lincoln Boulevard right now, if you counted the cars in a 30-day period, that number would equal the number of cars in the entire world in 1916. So you have to imagine this as a much quieter place. Edge of town, quiet, street noise isn't there. Right now the street noise is just deafening. But also you have to think about it as this. Let's do this. I'm going to pull this chair out and I'm going to ask you to sit in it before you take off. Experience the house by sitting in it the way you would normally live in a house. And so when you're doing that, you don't see all of the street clutter, right?
No.
The porch deck is perfectly heighted. The height is perfect to kind of shield you from all of that and give you sort of intimacy without making you close the drapes. There's no drapes.
Straight back. It's very straight back.
Well, maybe not Corey.
Yeah, it's
Good for your posture.
It is kind of
Yeah.
It's like I can still see the street.
They're not very comfortable. That's true. A couple other things in this room. All of the furniture is created for this house based on drawings we found. It is not original. The kitchen breakfast nook is original. I had the privilege of sitting with the furniture curator from the Victoria and Albert Museum in London discussing how we should restore that. That was a fun thing.
You have really good posture.
That chair really belongs in that house, but we had it created a little bit early. But it's definitely influenced by a World's Fair in St. Louis that Frank Lloyd Wright would have gone to, and the patterns and the stuff that's going on there is very cessationist, very German and Austrian. Wright would definitely have been influenced by that. When you go into the rooms, the bedrooms, notice you're going in from a corner of the room, not the middle of the room, and your mind's eye goes straight out to the windows. There's windows on the corner, the opposite corner. It just makes everything feel a little bit bigger. And when you're figuring out what's going on in this room, there's no western wall, right? Your mind's eye can travel this way into the hallway or this way. It makes the room feel a little bit bigger than it really is. Frank Lloyd Wright is, again, a master of space and is just playing games with you at every turn. The question was asked, what's that center space? So this is post-Victorian era. The families are shrinking a little bit. We now have 3.2 children instead of whatever. I don't know how you get a 0.2, but okay. If you figure out the lay of the land in this house, there's no more extra person. There's no more young girl in the house helping mom take care of the kids, right? So that was very common. The niece, the whatever, in the Victorian household, it's not happening anymore in this era. So mom's in charge of the house by herself, and I'm sorry to say that, but this is like 102 years ago. So I'm just talking in terms of the day. But that's probably an area where the kids could play. There's probably a sewing machine set up in there. Frank Lloyd Wright's son, John Lloyd Wright, invented the Lincoln Logs in 1916. And so I have a box of Lincoln Logs. When we have little kids in the house, I take out the Lincoln Logs and I pour them on the floor in the hallway because there's plenty of room in there. It's also the heat, the air in this house can go up that elevated ceiling, and the windows on both ends open. There's actually a screen out there to keep birds and animals from coming in. So you can draw warm air, or you can draw air through the house, and the heat will rise and suck it up. Does anyone have any questions? Otherwise, I think I probably bored you enough.
How do you have all these windows? It feels like a custom home, but they're trying to do a mass quantity, 10,000 homes. And with all these windows and customization, it just seems, I don't know how they put it on a train and ship it and have it created.
Yeah. They are. And this is not even a custom window. This was commonly available. It came from a millwork company not too far from here. One of the interesting things about the house, and I didn't point it out before because I just bore you with all the details, but it's a balloon frame construction.
So this is the home that we were just in that is in process of renovation. And here's a view of the street. So there are 6 of these homes on this street in Milwaukee that Frank Lloyd Wright intended to do in mass development, and it just never came to fruition. So unusual, but you actually have what would have been his models for these homes at the time. Pretty cool. This organization owns all of them except for one. And when that person is completed or finished living in the house, then they will also build that last remaining one that they don't own currently to have all 6 on the property. So this is the next one that we're walking up to. Pretty cool.